lands. Let's do this.
So how do you think he fares against Jun midrange? Chris Mettler with fairly standard Jun list. I mean, as opposed to a modern Jun list.
Literally, not figuratively. Maybe it is literally.
Okay.
Cross your fingers that they do not play Olivia.
So 3 copies of Olivia Voldaren. We got the I think we got either the names or the decks switched.
Yeah, Gabriel Womack with Blue White Humans is on the left.
Yes.
Chris Mettler with Jun midrange is on the right. We promise.
Yeah. 3 copies of Olivia in Chris's deck. 2 main deck Thunderball Hellkite, going big with. He's got 6 5-drop creatures. He's got 4 Thragtusk, 2 Thunderball Hellkites, and 1 copy of Vraska. So he really wants to hit 5 mana just to get some of those permanents onto the board.
And he's working his way there right now as we see a Farseek resolving to get a Blood Crypt.
He also plays 3 copies main deck of Vampire Nighthawk, which I think is cool. I think not enough Nighthawk action.
Yeah, I mean, those are, for a Blue-White Humans perspective, those are all cards that they really don't want to play against, to be honest with you. Like, Nighthawk, kind of a pain. There's some creatures that it can't really trade. There are some creatures that won't be able to trade with the humans the way they want to. Alternatively, like I said, Olivia is just a nightmare. And with a Farseek happening, we could see a turn 3 Olivia take place, which is also a nightmare as we see Champion of the Parish coming in here. This leads me to believe, does he not have another, he doesn't have a 2-drop human, just saying go. Not a great start for Gabriel here. It depends on what Chris has, but it's not. It's definitely not a great start.
All right.
You best believe he has a 3. He has a 3rd land and a 3-drop though.
I hope so.
All right,
Chris Mettler.
Chris, there's a Kessig Wolf Run, and we're going to see
Rakdos Keyrune.
Followed up by a
Farseek.
All right.
That's a pretty good turn. I like it.
So he's ramping up strong. He's ramping up. I'm not sure what he's ramping up into, but he is ramping up. He's deciding what he's going to want to get. He's happy with his decision. And he's going to present his deck over to Gabriel to shuffle and give back. Gabe is going to need one of his, I mean, the 3-drops he has access to are Silverblade Paladin, a Liar, Sky Knight, and Geist of Saint Trapped. I think Geist of Saint Trapped being the best one he can play this turn. It's not that Silverblade Paladin is poor this turn. It would be an attack for 4.
Yeah, the only thing is that Geist is going to be held off pretty well by a Keyrune. It's basically going to be a char.
That's true.
You know, it's going to be a char that makes Chris hold mana back, so I guess that's reasonable.
It's an attack here for 1. I feel like it's got to be Geist now.
Yeah, I would imagine at this point. And it is Geist. So Chris can essentially turn that Geist into a char if he leaves the Keyrune back to activate.
And this is one of the problems I found when I was testing this deck. Is, you know, obviously there are some draws where Champion of the Parish is just phenomenal. It's a 3/3 or 4/4 by turn 3, and then there's other draws like this where no one's happy to play Amon's Goblin Raiders, which is basically what this has been. You know, it's just a 1/1 for 1 mana. We're not playing those in Constructed, and that's what Champion is looking like this game. Ooh, just passing back.
Overgrown Tomb, pass.
Well, he's keeping the Keyrune up, as you said.
Absolutely. 1 copy of Faith's Shield. I'm just trying to think, how can Gabriel get past that Keyrune?
Well, the Liar Sky Knight can target the Keyrune.
Yes, it can, and it wouldn't be able to be activated.
Yeah. Which is a sweet interaction. I've actually detained a Liliana the Veil once.
Nice.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Pretty sweet.
Certain detain cards actually say target creature.
Yeah.
And some say, you know, detain target permanent.
So we are going to see a Liar Sky Knight here. And a trigger for the Champion of the Parish, bringing it up to a 2/2 finally.
Bringing up the Sky Knight, or not bringing it up, taking a look at it. Chris Mettler trying to see, all right, what exactly can this do? Now, Sky Knight definitely doesn't say creature. Is that true? I'm going to look it up just to see. It is non-land permanent. Okay. and I assume he keeps that key rune from being activated.
Yeah, for a turn. And so we're going to see an attack here for 8. Gabriel, assuming that there's no removal on Chris's side or anything to break this up, it should be a pretty good attack for 8 here. Angel token incoming for Geist, as long as he doesn't miss the mandatory trigger. And there it is. So that's going to put Chris down to 10 and makes you wonder what's going on in Chris's hand over there.
Yeah, he had a lot of mana and not a lot of action.
We don't see a Thragtusk. We haven't seen anything. Anything, period.
Yeah,
End
it's
of
been
sentence.
Farseek, Azorius key rune. That's it. Keeping his hand in the shadows. Pretty sure he just drew another land, or at least has another, I think an overgrown tomb, I'm pretty sure.
I believe there's one in his hand, yes.
That's about the only card I caught a glimpse of. I think there's a green card in his hand. It could be another Farseek, but if it is, I'm surprised he didn't just cast it last turn.
And if it was a Thragtusk, it would be in play by now.
Yeah, I'd imagine either one of those would have been in play, so I'm not sure what it was. I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't a Farseek. Or a Thragtusk.
Well, he was looking to put a land into play tap there for a brief moment, so it is an there's at least one Ravnica dual land, or return to Ravnica dual land in his hand. Without question now. It looks like one of those cards may be. Okay, so we're gonna see Rakdos return. And that's going to be for 2. So that he can leave up Rakdos key rune to block.
Yeah. Apparently Chris Mettler is the owner of Madness Games and Comics in Plano.
Oh, very nice.
So Ryan Clark, thank you for the tip.
There's the overgrown 2 going to play tap and just passing back. So, yeah, not much of anything here. He just has to leave up Rakdos key rune, and if there's a human on Chris's side, it's going to make things difficult. Looks like we're going to see, or on Gabriel's side, excuse me, we're going to see a Silverblade Paladin. Pumping up the champ, we're going to see who we are going to change our Facebook status with. I'm going to assume it is this. Okay, he's going to pair it up with the Angel token. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's game. Chris Mettler unable to really mount much of an offense or a defense there in game 1.
Yeah, a great start.
Yeah, it looked good for him. His opponent didn't have much going on early. Just the 1-drop, that was it. You know, 1-drop that was just a Moth Goblin Raiders, as you called it. You know, it's 1/1 for 1, doing absolutely nothing else. So he had time to develop something, but nothing actually developed, and I don't know. Couldn't see what was in his hand. All we saw that was cast was Farseek, Azorius key rune, Rakdos return, and it was kind of a wimpy Rakdos return too.
Yeah, it was just a Rakdos return for 2 to just kind of get information and see what was in Gabriel's deck, but she discarded a Sublime Archangel and another card. So, yeah, nothing. I mean, not really telling of what Chris's deck is capable of and what Jun mid-range is capable of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that he has a couple bonfires in his main deck along with Vizium Mortars. What can he sideboard in this particular matchup, which is actually in his favor, from what I've found?
Yeah, he's got 2 copies of Sever the Bloodline. Seems reasonable. 1 Dreadbore. I could see that coming in. Other than that, I don't really think. You know, he's got Slaughter Games not coming in. Underworld Connections not likely to come in. He's got Duress not coming in. Would be awful.
Yeah, be very bad.
He's got an additional Vraska. I don't really think that's worth coming in. In fact, I could even see him siding out Vraska. You know, essentially what Chris wants to do. I'm sorry, what Gabriel wants to do is attack Chris. So if Vraska comes down and goes, if you attack me, you guys die, he's happy to just attack Chris instead of Vraska. And if Vraska comes down as a 5-mana Vindicate, that seems awful.
Yeah, no one's rushing out the door for 5-mana Vindicates nowadays.
So I don't even think the main deck Vraska stays. I think he just probably wants the Dreadbore and potentially the 2 Severs, likely the 2 Severs, just as additional spot removal. That's really all. I mean, if he wants Deathrite Shaman to... It's not even good. It's just kind of like a guy that gets in the way, I think.
Yeah, rather unlikely that he boards that in. And realistically, these Jund mid-range decks have such a good matchup against humans that's almost like they're pre-sideboarded. You know, cards like Olivia and Missing Mortars, and they have a ton of spot removal, Bonfire of the Damned. He just really didn't draw anything after his opening of Farseek, Rakdos Key Room.
Right. Yeah.
As far as Gabriel, who is up a game right now, Elite Inquisitor is an interesting card to try to sideboard in because it is just a 2/2 for 2 in reality, but it also does a nice job of getting around Olivia Voldaren, having protection from vampires. I'm really hoping I'm not wrong about that, but I'm almost positive it has pro-vampire.
I'm pretty sure it does too. It's like protection from vampires, werewolves, and
the other card that he could attempt to bring in is Negate to try to counteract these Bonfire of the Damned and Missing Mortars. Even though he hasn't seen them, it's pretty safe to assume that those cards are kind of lurking in Chris's deck. But other than that, I don't think there's any room for Riders of Gavany or Feeling of Dread here. He could move out he can move out some number of Precinct Captains supporting Elite Inquisitors. But that's about it. He doesn't really have a ton of wiggle room, and Negate is reasonable, but not great.
Right. He pretty much wants to stick with his game plan. You know, he's playing all dudes in Faith Shield. You know, he just really wants to overwhelm Chris as fast as possible. So the best way to do that, I think, is just, if you're going to side out creatures, side in more creatures. There's no spell that really is going to make, any kind of back-breaking impact.
And especially when he's on the draw, I don't really like the way the Negate lines up with how the games are going to go. Because, he's already behind, and so he's going to have to go guy. So there's not really going to be a turn where he gets to go, guy,
hold mana
hold mana up, because that's just not how the games are going to play out. When he's on the play, he has the opportunity to go guy, and then, hold Negate up for the Bonfire of the Missing Mortars that's coming. Hopefully, on the turn where he's leaving Negate mana up, Chris is attempting to cast a big spell or some sort of removal spell and not, Thrak Tusk or something, which is what happened to me during some of my testing. Was just all right, I got this Negate, I'm ready, or whatever. And my opponent was just cast Olivia. I'm like, oh, crud.
Yeah, that'll clear the board, and I can't negate it.
Yeah. So that's a situation that can occur. So I just think that he will bring in Elite Inquisitor, and that's probably it. Especially this particular game. I can see Negates coming in on the play for Game 3 if we get that far, though.
Yeah, I think you're right in that Jund is sort of pre-sideboarded with all that removal. If I'm something like Blue-White Humans, I guess I can't imagine wanting to play a deck that has pretty much no interaction. No interaction, and all you're doing is attacking with guys. You're not a combo deck and going, I just need to put together my eggs combo, and that kind of not interaction.
Yeah.
I'm not interacting, and the only thing I'm doing is attacking, something that's just a basic thing that people have built in kind of parts of their deck to deal with.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I personally just don't really like about the deck. This is the kind of deck that I would like to play, but after playing with it, it's just so linear in what it does, and the way that the format is set up right now, it's just there's Thrak Tusk everywhere, and Supreme Verdicts, and Zorish Charms, and just all this stuff that just makes mindless attacking, what this deck basically is just it doesn't really line up very well where the format's currently at right now. It's the same reason that we don't see zombies really performing very well. That being said, this deck does have some very, very unforgiving draws, and it has some things that zombies can't, zombies doesn't have access to, like Thalia, like Silverblade Paladin, like Sublime Archangel. Those are cards that zombies will never have access to. So it does have some unique effects.
Interesting thing about that first game, neither player really had much of an ideal start. Gabriel's start was pretty weak, but he still was able to take that game just because Chris couldn't do anything.
I agree with that. As we see Gabriel mulling down to 6 here. His start was very, very weak. He started with a Champion of the Paris that was a 1/1 for the first 3 turns of the game. played a Geist of St. Traft, and he's just like, I hope you don't have anything. And Chris was like, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
So this sucks for me. And then, just lost to it, which is just not really an ideal representation of how the matchup goes.
Right.
Master.
We're getting attacked by mosquitoes.
Joey was under attack by a bug and just clapped it right down. Thunderclap.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to like clap very loud in front of the mic, so I didn't. And I don't think I killed it.
Yeah,
like,
it lost. I'm almost positive the bug
It definitely
lost.
got hit, but trying to deal with the Xantid Swarm, I guess. Yeah. So it looks like Gabriel going to 6, has his 6. And
our director says, "Be lucky we weren't eaten by spiders."
Yeah, we are.
That plays.
Sure.
That joke plays, Jesse. Well done.
All right, so we're underway, and there's a mountain, as you were requesting earlier.
Oh yes, finally.
What's a mountain do? I think it's a soft drink.
It's true. We have terrible jokes. So bad. This is just unwatchable. This is an unwatchable program with our jokes.
You say we and it's all me.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Champion of the Parish. Turn 1 by Gabriel. Let's see if Chris has the Farseek in this Cavern of Souls. Okay.
Well, he's certainly not going to Farseek this turn.
No, he is not.
What did Cavern name? Goblin? No, just Vampire.
Yeah, vampire for Nighthawk and Olivia Voldaren. We're going to see another human here, and we're going to see a second champion of the Parish. Here we go.
And he does have a second land drop, despite the fact that he has not yet played it.
In for 2. Your creature is not alive anymore.
Searing Spear, says Chris Mettler. Toasty champion.
We'll see a Hollow Fountain and just Gabriel passing back.
Gabriel definitely has the Glacial Fortress in hand as well, so despite a mulligan to 6, he seems okay on land drops. Now, does he have threats? That's the question. So far, so good. Chris Mettler seems to be a little
light on mana and passing
misses
back.
his land drop. Do you keep a hand with those as your only 2 lands?
Me personally, absolutely not. Exactly. With how his deck is set up in this particular matchup, and all of his cards are awesome, all you need to do is draw lands and spells, and like hoping to draw a 3rd land that taps for the right color of mana is something I would not want to do, and that's a reason why right there. Like that card alone, if you stumble and your opponent has Geist, like this is like old standard all over again.
Sure.
You stumble and I have Geist of St. Traft. Good luck, buddy.
So champion comes in for another 1.
And we see another Searing Spear here from Chris. And Chris's hand has multiple Dreadboards, a Searing Spear. Can't really tell what else is in there right now. I know there's at least one more removal spell, but none of that matters when there's Geist of St. Traft on the table. And no Pyroclasm in the format.
Well, nothing. No land drop from Chris. Gabriel plays a Silverblade Paladin. Soulbond, does that resolve?
Oh, it's going to resolve.
Yeah, well, it looked like a paw. He was like, Soulbond with it. Wait a second. Does this resolve? Is this okay? Are we doing anything? We know Chris has Searing Spear. Somebody hit the brakes. Okay, so resolves. Soulbond triggers. I'm sorry, champion triggers.
Yeah, he's probably going to hold off on the Soulbound trigger again like he did last game for the Geist.
Oh, right, for the Angel. Sorry, I was thinking Soulbond and not champion trigger first. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to partner there.
Soulbond with the Angel, and yeah.
Yep.
That's about the best thing he can possibly do here. He's going to still take 6 instead of 10.
He's going to take an 8. 4 from the Angel, 2 from Geist, 2 from Champion.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even counting the Champion. So 8 instead of 12. And a War Falcon.
Do we have our 3rd land yet so we can at least play? No, that's a Huntmaster of the Fells.
Oh, so rough. So rough. This is like the matchup you want if you're Jund.
Yeah, this is the matchup you, as a Jund player, this is the matchup you want to get paired against every single round. Your entire deck is either removal or creatures that are just
bigger than
creatures that are just bigger and better than what humans can do. With Olivia, with Thragtusk, with Nighthawk, just all of these cards that are just a complete nightmare. And that's why I think that Chris should have definitely mulliganed this game. You know, his Siren cards are good, obviously, but he's putting himself in a position where he has to draw a land. And you know, I'd rather just take one less card and call it a day.
He found a
Blood Crypt.
Blood Crypt, yeah.
But at one life,
help him there,
at one life, that's going to do it. So, Gabriel Womack, 2-0